Naomi back with IGN's E3 live show, streaming at you live on e3.ign.com. The original Arkham Asylum was amazing because it was a superhero game that didn't suck. It's now time to see how the sequel is coming along. Take it away, Hill.
Thanks, Naomi. So we're here today to check out one of the most anticipated games of the year, Batman Arkham City. And we're going to be checking out playing as Catwoman and what that means, sort of playing as Batman and the size and the scope of Arkham City, which is considerably bigger than what you saw in Arkham Asylum, and then maybe even we'll get to see what the Riddler's up to in the city itself. I am joined by Sefton Hill, who is the game director from Rocksteady. So Sefton, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about why you guys decided to have Catwoman as a playable character in the game.
I mean, bringing Catwoman into the game really felt like an exciting thing to do. You know, we look at, when we're trying to come up with the ideas, we're thinking what excites us, you know, what do we really want to do? And Catwoman felt like something that was really interesting because she's so different to Batman. She has her own objectives. She's kind of this ambiguous character. You never know what she wants to do. Is she good? Is she bad? And we felt that was a really interesting, fascinating relationship to play on. And also to give the player a little chance to kind of indulge their wild side a little bit, to do the things that kind of Batman's moral fortitude wouldn't let him do. We just felt that those two things were a really nice counterbalance to each other. With her.
Great, well let's jump in and see what it's like playing as Catwoman. Now, I think when people first hear the idea of like, oh, you're going to be Catwoman in a Batman game, that it's going to, you know, she's going to fight like Batman, she's going to have all his moves, move like him, but that's not true at all, right?
No, I mean, we started developing Catwoman right from the start of the game as well, and we developed her to complement Batman. She still does use the free flow system, but she has all her own moves, all her own animations, she has all her own abilities and skills. She has her own gadgets, so she has bowlers, she has her own whip, you know, a whip, and she can use that to trip people and disarm them. So, you know, we just wanted to create a character who really contrasted with Batman as well. So we can kind of see in this intro quite a nice little cameo of Catwoman as she turns up. You've got a load of Two-Face thugs who are protecting this safe. They're waiting for Two-Face to turn up, and Catwoman is going to get in there first and steal the goods basically that are in this vault, Two-Face's vault.
And one thing we can see for sure is that Catwoman seems to move a lot faster than the Dark Knight does.
Yeah, she's fast, she's nimble, she's still powerful though. I mean, she's still really dangerous, you know, she can still take people down. So, you know, it's a great combination to have as her. That's what feels quite different with her. You can see her moves are very fluid still. She has some great, you can see, great takedown moves as well that she can do. And still pretty painful as well at the same time. So.
It's time to get what I came for out of that.
And now, can you tell us a little bit about what Catwoman is doing even in Arkham City?
So Catwoman has been arrested. She's been captured by Hugo Strange. She was captured at the same time as Two-Face. And basically there's like a running feud between her and Two-Face. So this is kind of part of that feud that you're sort of playing. This is the beginning of the game, but you're sort of coming into the middle of that feud. And as you can see here, Two-Face has actually captured Catwoman. So she's trying to steal this memory stick from Two-Face, but Two-Face has jumped in and actually captured Catwoman. So what she's doing there basically, she got arrested at the same time Hugo Strange chucked her and Two-Face in. And basically they were the two last super criminals to be rounded up.
I took an encryption key from
so 24 hours later, we're going to pick up the game and basically pick up the story, and this is basically Batman at the start. He's just landed on top of the Ace Chemicals building inside of Arkham City, and he's got this encryption key. He's going to hack into Tiger broadcasts. So Tiger are basically Hugo Strange's military army that he's using to patrol Arkham City and basically keep everyone in. He doesn't really care what people are doing inside. That's of no interest to him whatsoever. He just wants to make sure no one gets out, no one escapes. So he's thrown everyone in there from Arkham Island, everyone in there from Blackgate, and it's just kind of this melting pot of pure super criminality. It's kind of a worst case scenario for Batman.
Or also his biggest fantasy, if you want to think about it that way,
yeah,
right?
that is exactly. For Hugo Strange himself, you know, that's the other thing that Batman's got to deal with. But I think that was one of the things that was really fascinating about the setup for us, is that all these different supervillains that are in the game, they've all got their own goal, their own objective. So Hugo Strange, what does he want? That's totally different from what Joker wants. That's totally different from what Penguin wants. That's totally different from what Zsasz wants, and totally different from what Riddler wants. And the only thing that stands in the way of what all of these people want is Batman, basically. That's your job.
Gotcha. And I mean, I think one of the things that was really cool is that you guys aren't doing something where in most games, most sequels, you kind of take all the powers and all the gadgets that Batman has gotten and then just strip them all away from the beginning. He's got all his tools basically straight out of Arkham Asylum, right?
Yeah, you've got a lot of the tools that you started with in the first game. So you've got the batarangs, the remote batarangs, the bat claw, explosive gel, cryptographic sequencer. You're going to start with all those gadgets. And not only are you going to start with all those gadgets, but we're beefing those gadgets up as well. So basically, a lot of the things that you'd used before, you can now use in free flow. So you can use the bat claw in free flow as well. Like that, it just demonstrates right there for a bat claw slam. You can use explosive gel. You can use all these moves in free flow.
And we should explain that one guy is glowing green and you've saved him for last. Can you explain why?
Yeah, so basically this guy's working for Riddler, as Batman says there. So what Batman's done is he's got a record of all of Riddler's known informants. And the way Riddler works in Arkham City is different to the other people. He's not about this overt show of force, he's about being the smartest person in Arkham City. So he's basically paying people who are working for all the other supervillains to remain one step ahead of them, and also to try and defeat Batman. So he's been paying all of these people to place trophies around, set up these elaborate traps for Batman to take on. So basically what you're going to see is what Batman's doing is interrogating these people to find out the locations of all the Riddler trophies that are there.
Gotcha. And how many Riddler trophies are there in the game, roughly?
I mean, there are a ton of Riddler trophies. There are over 400 challenges for Batman to do. So that's a load. But one of the things we were really wanting to do with the Riddler trophies is that we haven't just put stuff in there to collect. It's not like collect 20 of these things. Every single one of them has its own puzzle attached. And I mean, we spent a long time on this. You know, it was great fun. We got to sort of indulge our own Riddler instincts and create these real puzzles for Batman to solve to get the trophies. So it's not just finding these things down the back of an alleyway. You'll find them, but then there's still a puzzle to solve to get them. So every single one of these things is a little kind of gameplay vignette in and of itself as well.
And I know one of the questions a lot of people have asked when we've said this is sort of a very open world Arkham City is how really open is this? Like, can you go to and kind of play missions from any of the different territories when you want?
Yeah, I mean, basically you'll start the game and you'll be able to go to the whole of Arkham City. You'll be able to move around the different zones. And you'll see from the different zones that different supervillains have taken over different areas. So Joker's got his turf. As you can see here, Two-Face is just trying to establish himself in Arkham City. So he's taken the courthouse and he's divided it into two, you know, as you can see, the good and the bad side. And you can go around any of these different areas right from the start. I mean, our goal was never to make the biggest open world game ever. It was to create the most details. So to create a really rich environment, fill it full of detail. So that's what people are going to get to explore. They're going to get to see how the Batman DNA runs through every building that you can find in there as well.
Great, and I think one of the things we're probably going to see, this is your grisly look at Two-Face.
Yeah.
I'd say a little bit like the Nolan Two-Face with kind of the very destroyed face, yes?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to do something, you know, as we're bringing them into our universe, something that feels consistent with all the other characters that you see in the universe. So it's kind of normalising them to the Arkhamverse, making them feel like they belong in that world. And this was our vision for it. You know, we think he feels really gritty, but he still feels real, you know?
Absolutely. And so Batman's going to be put in a situation here where there are a lot of enemies on multiple levels here, and I would assume that using detective mode is probably going to be the safest bet for him?
Yeah, I mean, detective mode is still a great tool for Batman and something that, you know, we wanted you to feel like Batman. So we don't want to take away his abilities. You've still got detective mode. It's still super powerful for tracking people down. We kind of focused the way detective mode works. So Jez goes to detective mode here. You can see 48 enemies in this room. That's loads more than we ever had in the first game anywhere. If he looks up above, you'll see the armed enemy. So basically that's the guy who wants to identify and take out first. But the other thing you'll notice with detective mode is that basically it focuses on enemies. It's used for hunting down enemies. It's not used for navigating around. You can't see the world as well, but you can see the enemies really well. So it's just kind of getting that balance in there between the different uses of detective mode.
And one thing that we didn't see when we were playing Catwoman is that she has her own version of detective mode.
Yeah, she has thief vision basically. So what she can do is her thief vision identifies things she can steal. That's what Catwoman's interested in. So she's not interested in all the things that Batman's interested in. She's just interested in what can I get out of for me? You know, what can I do for number one?
Now, for folks who played the first Batman Arkham Asylum, What is different in the combat that they're going to experience when they jump in like a courthouse like this?
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of new stuff in the combat. We've got over twice as many moves, twice as many new animations. We have simultaneous counters, we have projectile counters, we have beatdown. Jez was just tried an aerial attack, so we have an aerial attack as well. So there's loads of different moves you can, and the good thing is that there's an aerial attack, as with the free flow system, you can kind of combo any of these moves together. So basically for the player, that's a backclaw slam. So the great thing is you can kind of combo these moves together as you want. That's the whole kind of beauty of the free flow system, is that we're not asking you to remember how to do tons of different moves. You evaluate the situation and you put these moves together yourself.
Now, is the reason that Two-Face doesn't like Catwoman just because she's trying to steal his stuff, or is there something more to it?
There's a kind of more of a backstory between the two of them, and it kind of goes back to when they were both outside of Arkham City, and they were both kind of trying to set each other up to get caught by Hugo Strange, because they both kind of wanted free run of Gotham City.